What you want is to be able to be a vibrant, busy woman who feels good in your body, fulfilling your purpose, excited about all of the things you're achieving and all the things you plan on achieving. However, if you're like many of us with this ambition, you might really feel deep down that your only choices are two: either to become a stressed out overachiever or a boring woman of no account. Those two stark alternatives are what a lot of us truly believe deep in our souls, and that are the only two choices we have. You may have different words for them, but basically it's either being stressed out or being nobody. It would be pretty dismal if that were really true, and I am happy to tell you it isn't. Hi, I'm Maryanne Nicholls. Today and for the next two videos, I want to talk about why strong women, overachievers, burn out and how to stop it. Today, my focus will be on the making of the overachiever, a story too many women know. We all have our personal stories about how we reached this conclusion, each story uniquely individual, and yet at the same time, each carrying a common thread. Here is one of my stories. It began when I was around 12 years old. Where I grew up, women didn't work outside the home. And for those few who did, most were viewed as not having any other choice. People felt sorry for them. My mother was stay at home and hated it. She hated housework. She hated being on call all the time as the mother. She hated having a husband who laid down the house rules that she and the rest of us had to follow. She hated all of it, and so did all her female friends. I saw all this, noticing that most of her friends drank too much and that too many of them would periodically end up in the hospital psych wards for weeks on end. By age 12, I vowed I would be independent, that I would never let what happened to them end up happening to me. I made my choice. I'm not saying that choosing to be a mother isn't a wonderful choice. It can be very rewarding if that's what you want, rather than that's how you feel you must be, because you have no choice. In fact, I fully expected to be a mother. As it happened, life had other ideas, and that was fine. Your story of how you came to the place you're in may be very different from mine. Perhaps you were singled out as a child to be made very special. You were thought of as very special. You were treated as very special, only to discover that you weren't special at all when you entered university. Perhaps you suffered physical abuse as a child and felt driven to rise above all that as an adult. Perhaps it was a combination of several experiences that shaped you into who you are today in your own unique way. And yet, in each of these stories, the common thread is this: we refuse to accept a life of boredom and mediocrity and would do whatever we could to not end up there. Enter the overachiever. There are a few important things about being an overachiever that I found in my own life and those who I work with, and that I invite you to remember. These women are driven, they are smart, they are ambitious, they are problem solvers, reliable and loyal. They also regularly take on too much. I'll expand on these two things in my next video: why smart, driven women keep getting stuck. I hope to see you there.